So we are honored, very honored today to host Marko Guček with us, that is the CEO and also co-founder of GoOpti. GoOpti, as you will see in the presentation by Marko, is a company that is, GoOpti Ltd, is a company that is based in Ljubljana that offers shared and private transportation services between airports and remote towns and cities in Italy, Slovenia, but not only. You are expanding really fast. So also Croatia, Austria, Hungary, and Germany. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much to Marko Guček for being here. Thank you, Marko. The floor is yours. If you want to use this, or you can use the arrows, as you prefer.
Okay. Thank you very much for invitation. And such a great presentation of my company. We have to go to the beginning. Okay. So exactly what we do, we are actually connecting people between the airports and homes and offices, and we do it everywhere. So the difference is exactly this. We don't connect like biggest airports with biggest cities like Malpensa and Milan, but we are actually bringing this commodity of direct transportation also to these smaller cities, which is also in Slovenia and a lot of cities in Italy, and also much other cities also in Europe and also the world. And we are doing it in the way that we have created this dynamic shuttle platform where we actually connect the transportation companies and passengers in the way that we are actually creating a new market. And how we actually do it, we are solving two problems. Maybe we have a bit too much information here on the slides, but it's actually a lot of problems. On one side, we have on the demand side problem. If you are living in a smaller city or actually traveling to a smaller city, usually you don't have direct public transportation connection. So you have to go from your home with all the luggage to the central bus station, go with bus and train to the bigger city, and then connect to another bus to get to the airport, which is usually a big pain. And also you can always miss the flight because of irregular transportation and very unreliable also public transportation. So most of the people go with their own car. But if you go with your own car, you have to park it there. It's expensive. You have to pay really expensive parking fees, the tolls, and so on. And of course, the fuel is not so cheap, especially on longer distances where you usually have to go. So in the end, it's quite a hassle. And also on the other side, you can ask your friends, but that is a big dependency. And of course, you can use BlaBlaCar and similar services, but this is just not reliable enough. If you paid a lot for your flight ticket, you really don't want that maybe this guy won't pick you up. So that's why we have seen that there is this big need on the demand side, which actually has a bunch of problems, and actually personal car is the only solution. And then on the other side, we have the supply side problem. Here actually in the field of transportation with small vans, these guys, like in Italy, the NCC companies, in Slovenia are the small transportation companies, they actually have this problem. These are usually one guy, one driver, or maybe they own 4, 5, 6, 7 cars and they have a few drivers employed. And this is a big hassle. If you're an owner of such company, you actually have to work 24/7. You have to pick up the phone to your passengers, to your drivers. Usually even you have to drive by yourself. So it's not so even safe, which is not also so reliable. And of course, because they don't have the software, they can also offer their service only as a VIP service, connecting cities and airports only for the companies which can actually afford the VIP service. And actually with our platform, we can much lower the prices per seat, and with sharing different passengers in one van, make it possible that they can actually execute their transportation on these routes where actually before they couldn't, and also public transportation couldn't do it profitably. So the solution is that we offer them affordable, reliable service, which is door-to-door. It's at desired time. So you say when you want to go to travel, with professional drivers, of course. And on the other side, professional drivers are very important because we have to guarantee everyone that is going to the airport that you won't miss the flight. And even if in worst case scenario, if you miss it, we even buy you a new ticket. And on the supply side, of course, they get the booking engine, the customers, then the fleet management tool, which is much easier for them, unified support center 24/7 that our company offers, and of course the guaranteed income because of our statistics. We know how much of travel will be done in the next year, so we can know how many vehicles we need and how much work will be for the transportation company. So the most important, we take the stress away on the both sides. And where we are currently, we are, okay, you said a lot of countries, but actually we are in Slovenia and northern Italy. We are connecting, of course, also Germany, Austria, and Hungary. But our bases are in Slovenia and now most of the northern Italy. And we have, of course, plans to expand also to Spain and also then Austria, Germany, and France, and so on. But currently in Slovenia, we have proved that it works. We have really successful clients. We have Net Promoter Score over 70, actually 78, which is really amazing. You know, this is between -100 and +100. And this is if you ask, would you recommend this service to your friend or relative? So that means that most of the people of our passengers actually say yes. They say from 8 to 10, which means yes, definitely I will do it. And actually Apple has 74, which means that our clients are really satisfied. Until now we have transported over 500,000 of passengers and we are profitable in Slovenia. We have quite good average gross margin. And actually we are changing the travel habits of people, how they travel. Before they traveled 83% of people to the airport with their own car. Now actually 25% of the people is already using GoOpti in Slovenia. So we are market leader in this field, and also there is some competition, meaning that the personal car is losing the battle. On the other side, we also see that people stay with us. Once they use us, they come again. So here you see also on below here how you don't see the numbers, but this is how Slovenia was growing. And this is how now Italian cities are growing. So also now in Italy we're actually growing in the same way as we were growing in Slovenia, or even better. And where we're going, actually we first thought that this is just a problem of Ljubljana. Everybody in Ljubljana was complaining we don't have EasyJet and Ryanair flying to Ljubljana. We don't have much connections. The prices of tickets are really expensive. But then we have seen, no, it's not just Slovenia, it's not just Ljubljana, it's actually the whole Europe that has these cities. You know, also Italy has only Malpensa, Rome, and okay, maybe Bologna, which are more international, intercontinental flights, a bit also Venice, but that's it. And there is hundreds of other cities also in Italy, just in Italy. So here actually you can see there is more than 3,000 such cities in the world. There is more than 500 cities only within EU. And here you see we did a comparison. We checked the prices of flying from different airports and different cities. And here you see the more that is red, the bigger differences in the price based on if you're flying from your local airport, which is usually smaller, and one bigger airport in the vicinity of 100 to 300 kilometers away. So we see that in average for all the Europe, all the people would, if traveling with us from these cities, they would pay less, 80 euros in average, and they would be 1 hour sooner to the final destination. Because of course from their local airport, usually they don't have direct flight, they have to go via another city, so they have to change the flights, and that means additional time. Yeah, we are trying to find out the way how actually we should grow. So this is something that we are learning now, especially in these Italian cities. In each city we have different tactic how to grow actually, so that we are trying to find out the magic formula that would work also in the other cities. What would be the cheapest way that people know that we exist the fastest. And we are currently actually the most successful in Trieste, which is probably because it's this proximity of Slovenia and more people knew that GoOpti exists. And also probably it's a big pain also here. Our product, we have actually a platform which services different stakeholders. On one side we have customers, We offer them, of course, the pre-booking. We have fixed price at the time of booking. It's the guaranteed service I mentioned. And of course, this flexibility window, which is the big difference to any other competitor or the shuttle company in the world. Because before us, nobody thought that people could be flexible in the time of departure. But we have seen that when you travel on a longer distance, maybe for getting a lower price of the ticket, you actually might be a little bit flexible. And we still have the VIP service, the private service, which is a little bit cheaper than the taxi or Uber in some countries. But we are cheaper because we fill it up always in the other way around. And the taxi and Uber on the longer distances, they can never fill up the vehicle also on the return way. On the other side, we said, okay, most of the people don't mind if they share. So then we could even lower the price of the ticket if they say, okay, maybe other people can join you in the van. But then additional one step further that we went, we said, okay, maybe you're also a little bit flexible. So maybe you are 1 hour, 2 hour flexible. And on longer distances, people can get quite flexible if maybe the price drops from 100 euro to 20 euro, that they have the risk of maybe waiting 2 hours for the van after the landing. Of course, with our optimization software, we try that people wait the least, and one day before departure, everybody finds out the time of the departure. So that, of course, you're not waiting on the airport without knowing when the van will come. You know that one day in advance, so at that time you can go shopping for a beer or whatever. And it's actually not a big pain, and in the end, in this way, you can get much lower price because of actually allowing us that we put you in different vans with different people in different combinations. Okay, for companies, we have special possibilities where we can do special deals. For resellers, for travel agents, hotels, they are a very important partner of ours, which of course gives us a lot of traffic, and all the other side, we give them commission. We have airports and airlines. We have the API connection, which also now some of the airlines are actually adding our service in the flight ticket. Now it's first was Adria Airways, Croatia Airlines, then it was Fly Dubai, Emirates, TAP. Now also in Italy we are talking with a few airlines, and hopefully they will see this is a really good way how to increase the sales of their tickets. With our service, actually for the airlines and airports, were very important. The first airport that really found out that our service is really good is actually Venice Marko Polo Airport, because they have seen that we are really increasing the catchment area of actually their airport. And they have seen that from Slovenia and Croatia, they don't have so much travelers, and with our service, we actually increased dramatically the number of passengers from their airports. And then we have, of course, the transportation companies with the tools for them, and of course for the drivers, so they can easily find the people waiting for them. So this is the product and the competitive advantages. This is actually really important that we are first on the market. Currently, nobody else is actually serving this niche of long-distance airport shuttle. At the same time, we are the first ones that are building the fleet. So we know that Uber and everyone are coming. This is the future of the transportation. But they are coming to the big cities first. And now we are coming first to the smaller cities where we actually already have the fleet of different transportation companies and drivers, which is very useful for the future, where of course our technology might be used also for not just connecting the airports. Then of course dynamic pricing, this is our most important part, how we actually calculate the prices so that we make the least risk. Of course, when we come to a new city, we don't know how people will travel, so we go with low prices, but then very fast we can start learning and see how people behave so that we can make it profitable for transportation companies and also for us. And yeah, the biggest thing is that actually before us, people did not think about this risk. Also Uber, if you think Uber Pool, they are doing in the way that they are actually connecting two people together, but if they don't connect, still you have to pay the full price. And on the other side, on longer distances, this can never work because you can never risk. So you as a transportation company or us as a platform, we have to take over the risk on ourselves. And by taking over the risk, by doing it because we have the statistics and the data, we are not risking that much, but on the other side, we're actually creating the market with this that nobody could do it before. without taking the risk. And yeah, the really nice market trends are currently in the world. Young people do not want to drive anymore, not anymore buying so much the vehicles. The car manufacturers see that this is the new future of transportation. Of course, the ride sharing is really getting important, and also on the other side, more and more people travel, more and more people also travel with airlines, but on the other side, the airlines are restructuring, they are not flying so much to the smaller airports. On the other side, the low-cost airlines are now flying to more distant airports, so all this means that people have to get somehow from all these airports to their hometowns. So this is really briefly about us, what we're doing, so thank you very much, and if any questions,
we have time for a couple of questions, but I would like the first question, if you don't mind, to come from the main target market. So you say that you are serving essential millennials, and actually I would like to do a market research for you instantly now. Guys, sorry, talking to you, how many of you know GoOpti? Raise your hands. How many know the existence of the service? 4. And how many used GoOpti before? Only 1. So there is space for increasing the market, for sure.
A lot of space, yeah.
Who wants the microphone for a question? Yes. Thank
you. I hope that you will excuse me for my bad English, maybe, but once you had the first idea, what is the next step that you had to have the truck later? So to start everything, maybe, I don't mean earn money, because I mean there is some other ways, but just start the surface without nothing. I hope that I will.
Yeah.
It's totally clear. So one thing is having an idea, but the other thing is translating this idea into something that really exists and works in the market. How was you able to do that? Did someone help you? The 3F, foolish, family, and friends, or who?
Well, maybe here the story goes much back. In 2006, I actually studied here at MIP, School of Management in Trieste, and actually I think that here some change also happened, because here part of my experience there was I did also then the internship in Starwood in Hotel Daniele in Venice. And part of this, I was also in this selection process for top candidates of Starwood to become a hotel manager. We've been in Brussels in this big hotel for 2 days, and actually there we had this all the time assessments, how good we are. And it was the worst experience in my life, because it was so intense, and it was, I never really liked to present, and there was really constantly 20 managers checking you, what are you doing? So after that, I actually said, if I survive this, I will survive everything. So then actually after MIP, already also at MIP, there we had some really good professor that came from the United States and was asking us who wants to be entrepreneur. And at that time, actually, nobody raised the hand, you know. So I also didn't, and I was thinking, why the hell then I didn't raise the hand? And why I was not even thinking about this option. So at that time, I started to think about it. So immediately, already with my partner that we then founded the first company, we decided that we go our own way. We did the business travel agency in Slovenia, and we became in 2-3 years actually the largest business travel center in Slovenia. So how we did this, we just really wanted to change something, and we have seen that the travel agencies in Slovenia at that time were doing really primitively, you know. The offers were not good. They were only offering you flights from Ljubljana and only at your timings and so on. So we knew how to lower the costs of company business travel. So we said we can do it better. And always when we have seen something that we can do better, change, we were never thinking about making money, but about changing something for the better. And when, of course, we seen this, that there is some problem, we did it, and yeah, we were changing for the better, and there came the results. So actually the GoOpti was just a spin-off that came out of this, because we have seen that more and more our clients travel from Ronchi Airport, from Marko Polo Airport, from even Munich, Graz, Zagreb, and so on, and everybody had this problem, how can I get there? And there were like local NCCs, local transportation companies, but nobody did this service that could be professional, that could guarantee the price. And me as a professional travel agent, I couldn't offer some service that maybe one day before departure somebody will cancel the trip. So just it came from the need again. We have seen that this is something that's not working, we have to do it, and again we did it. So this is how, it's just continuing.
So that wasn't a really simple question, as you were seeing, so it was quite complicated. So Marko, thank you so much. An applause again. It was